Okay, traders, so we've got to watch this video here for November 15th, which would be Thursday. You can see another ugly daily candle in the SPY. And I've been saying in the chat room for a few days now that, nice pops in stocks are getting sold and everything feels kind of heavy, and pre-market nice earnings plays are selling off all day. So the good thing about market weakness, you always hear the saying, the market or stocks individually take the stairs up and the elevator down. That's very true. And if you look at any chart, and I'm showing you the SPY right here, you see these gradual climbs and you see chaos. It's just fast and furious. I actually like that. Now, a lot of people say, well, then why wouldn't you short? It happens so quickly that I just kind of take it easy and let it happen. And the good thing is, on a weekday like today, I get very few, if any, of my stocks, of my charts, give me very few long signals. So I'm very comfortable doing nothing. And that's, the one thing I try to teach some of our students in the chat room that are struggling, that you don't always have to be in a trade. People think I'm not making money if I'm not in something, right? If I'm in all cash, I'm not making money. And I always come back with, you're not losing money if you're all cash. I swear some people psychologically would rather be in something and losing than they would be in nothing, to be in no positions at all in cash. And I can't get my head around that, but it is an absolute skill that must be learned, the skill of doing nothing. I tweeted something goofy today. When things are slow, I get into goofy tweeting and try to find it here. There's a time to look for long setups, and there's a time to Google naked yoga videos. Right now, it's the latter. And that was an intraday tweet. But anyway, the point being, you don't always have to be in something. All right. I took, I want to say, 3 trades today, and I ended up plus like 150. I mean, again, people love to see big numbers from day traders. I made $156.84 today, but I'm all cash. I was all cash coming into the day, and got, like I said, 3 trades. And my one losing trade, I had 2 winners and 1 loser. In my losing trade, I think I lost $30 or something. So, I'm playing it tight and just being careful unless and until I get an A+ setup. So that's where I am. And I've had actually a really good month. But when there's nothing to trade, I just trade nothing. It's that simple. I actually got a big watch list for tomorrow. So, I'm confident that at any time, any day, or even any hour, something can come out of the blue and give you a beautiful setup, right? So as a day trader, kind of like hunting all the time. So what are we watching for tomorrow? NIO was actually, and I'll show you a setup that I tried to get in this one today, and I didn't get filled. But NIO identified very early this morning that it was strong, and I tried to get the first pullback on it. I'll show you in just a second. But anyway, I like the chart here. You popped up back here to 732. Now, overall, the chart's not pretty, right? We're way off the highs, but it seems to have found support here and is trying to curl up. So the highs, I don't know, week and a half ago, 732. It actually broke that today on an intraday basis, went to 745. Certainly worth watching again tomorrow. On an intraday basis, I'm going to go to 2-minute candles here and just show you, I was bidding for this first pullback. I had a bid. If you've taken our course, you know why. I had a bid right there at 696. It came very close. It went to 698 a couple times and then ended up ripping without me. But to me, it absolutely met the parameters for a first pullback play, and it just didn't get filled. So, but we did a good job in chat of identifying that one early, and it ended up being one of the stronger stocks out there. Back to the daily chart, I certainly want to watch it tomorrow. RGSE. The market weakness, you could argue, I shouldn't say it this way, but the market weakness, you could argue, didn't allow this to break out. It doesn't mean it would have broken out if the market was strong today, but I do like the chart setup. You had this spike back here on strong volume for this stock that took it to like 58 cents. Then you had a lower high at 50 cents, and then yesterday it hit 51, and today it hit basically 51. So I love it over this 51 area tomorrow, or really any time this week. That's RGSE. LCI had this really nice pop here, and it's in kind of a loose, sloppy flag, but it is flagging, so I do have this one on long watch for tomorrow. TNP, you had this really nice run back here to 63 cents, then 52 cents, lower high here, And then today's high, great relative strength today, it hit 49 cents. Looks like it's getting. I have one chart on after hours. Looks like it's getting a little after hours activity. So they may have had news. So we'll see. We'll see what it does in after hours. But it's a clean setup, kind of like it through 50 cents tomorrow. We'll see, right? Netflix, NFLX. I'm not in love with this one, but it's 4 or 5 red days in a row. It's kind of head and shouldery looking on the bigger term, but on the bigger picture. But it's fallen from, I'll give you some numbers here, 332 and is the high it hit, and then today you see it's at 286. This low from October 30th was 271. If it can get down to this area, I might look for an intraday bounce. Again, I'm not in love with this one. I don't trade these higher price ones that often. Speaking of which, Goldman Sachs GS is also interesting. It's just fallen from almost 235 all the way down today. Actually flushed 200 for a little while before closing at 202.49. So this one goes on bounce watch. Apple I have on bounce watch. And whenever the market just gets really slapped, I usually look at these big names because they give some really nice snapback bounces. Apple is just fallen off a cliff here. And let's see, the lows today was 185.93 and closed fairly weak. But if you look, slide the cursor to the left here, it's definitely had some trading in this area, especially in June and July. So I kind of, even though we've lost the 200-day here, I still think it looks good for a bounce tomorrow, only with a proper intraday setup. I never just take a random entry. NVLN was on bounce watch coming into today, and it's just another red day, much lower volume. It held $1. I don't know how relevant that is. And we're getting pretty close to a round trip. But actually it started at 71 cents, so it's still nicely above. This is, I don't do fibs, but it looks like it's somewhere probably around the lower of the 3 fib retracement levels. And I certainly like this as a potential bounce tomorrow. I mean, this thing traded over 40 million shares that, that took it from 71 cents to 235. That's a monster move, and it actually had a nice second day move. I made good money in it. I know this day, I can't remember if this day I never caught a trade in it, I don't think. Anyway, 3 days lower now in declining volume. One of my favorite charts going into tomorrow for a potential bounce. DVA, man, I know this is a weird chart with this one candle up here and then all the way back down. I thought I read Berkshire Hathaway's in this stock, but I could be wrong. But anyway, a nice bounce off the 64 area back here, and it's fallen really over the course of a week from 72 to take out these lows. I didn't catch a trade in it today, and you can see it's I don't know, as long as it's holding above 64, we might get a nice long in it one of these days. ACRX, this one's very obscure, but I think it's worth a look. They came out with this day with this massive volume, and it went to new highs for the year, I believe. They came out with FDA decision, FDA approval, and then somewhere in here they did a secondary, and now if the FDA approval means anything, and this is all the way back down to the 200-day. It's a pretty good, and it's actually bounced, actually it was way down here, but it's done pretty well off the 200-day. Kind of has a relationship with it. Almost hit it here, and ripped, and then it's right back down again. Does the offering bother me? I don't know. I don't generally trade stuff post-offering, but at the same time, this definitely had good news about a week and a half ago, so it might catch a bid tomorrow. One of my least favorites, but worth watching. PCG. Are they or are they not responsible for the California fires and how much liability and all that? So, these are all questions that absolutely matter. But it's worth, as a day trader, I think it's worth having on a chart with this kind of fall. Excuse me, and it's got, crazy range today all the way from 22.35 to 29.20. So there's no clean setup here. But if we watch it trade intraday and maybe we've got the news squawk on and maybe something comes out about them or lack of liability or any kind of news, you can catch a pretty big snapback trade in this one. So I'm going to have it on a chart, but I have no idea what it's going to do tomorrow, and it's going to have to be a fairly low-risk setup for me to get involved. But it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. NIHD, a very strong stock recently, and then just straight down for 4 or 5 days in a row. It's bounced nicely off $5 back here. It flushed it here, but then again here, and it's gotten near that $5 in a hurry. So if this flushes 5 tomorrow, there might be an intraday reversal down below 5. Man, I've got a long list for an ugly day. Let's see. where are we? AMRN. This one, again, a weird chart. Huge move and then a huge reversal. Bottoming tail today. If we go to look at the intraday, this never did light up the new high of day ticker, right? A lot of traders watching this one because of the strength and then the weakness. But it never did with the exception of the opening couple minutes. It did, flushed hard, but then bounced and kind of put in an intraday, sort of a sloppy cup and handle, a little flag near the end of the day. So I think it's worth watching tomorrow. I don't really have any kind of, hey, I love it at this price type thing, but I think the bounce from today could continue tomorrow if we catch a low risk setup. DXR, very thin stock, only 119,000 traded today. I just love the chart here. I love this huge spike back here, then this lower high, and then it went into what I call nothingness, and then all of a sudden out of the blue, massive volume for this stock, over 5 million shares, and kind of a little flag pattern. So maybe, while we're watching it, sometimes, and this as a day trader, sometimes this does happen. You're watching something, you have it on a chart, then all of a sudden you hear positive news, and you're already familiar with the chart, so you can kind of dive in really quickly before the crowd. So with that in mind, that's kind of the reason I have DXR and watch. And then lastly, I've got ANY, which had massive volume and closed way off its highs, but we'll see if we get some kind of red to green tomorrow. It might get started again. That's a huge list. So I'm going to leave it at that. Check out our Black Friday special below, the links below, and I'm gonna leave it at that. There's plenty to watch. We'll find some gappers in the morning to add to this list too. Have a great night, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.